Listen carefully, because what I'm about to share with you is not just about a coin. It's about history, hidden value, and a quiet opportunity that many people overlook every single day. Before we begin, take a moment and make sure you're subscribed, because the information you're getting here is not something most people talk about openly, especially when it comes to coins that could potentially change how you look at money forever. Now imagine this, a simple 1 shilling coin from South Africa, from the era of Queen Elizabeth. At first glance, it looks ordinary, something you might pass by, something you might even ignore. But what if I told you that this small piece of metal carries a story, a legacy, and in rare cases, a value so shocking that it could reach up to $18 million? Yes, you heard that right. Let's go deeper. The 1 shilling South African coin featuring Queen Elizabeth was minted during a time when the British influence still shaped much of South Africa's currency system. These coins were not just currency. They were symbols of authority, of transition, of a world that was evolving. When Queen Elizabeth II appeared on these coins, it marked a new chapter, a continuation of monarchy, but also a subtle shift toward modern times. The coin itself is typically made of silver or a silver alloy, depending on the year. It carries a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on one side, often young, crowned, and facing right. The details in her hair, the sharpness of the engraving, the lettering around the edge, these are not just artistic elements. These are clues. Clues that collectors, investors, and experts use to determine rarity and value. On the reverse side, you'll often find the South African coat of arms or symbolic imagery that represents the nation's identity. Every line, every symbol has meaning. But more importantly, every small variation can mean a massive difference in price. Now here's where things get serious. Not all 1 shilling Elizabeth coins are valuable. In fact, most are worth only a small amount, maybe a few dollars, sometimes a bit more if they are in excellent condition. But there are specific versions, rare mint years, limited strikes, error coins. These are the ones that collectors hunt for. Let's talk about condition first. If your coin is worn out, scratched, or heavily circulated, its value drops significantly. But if you have a coin that looks almost untouched, with sharp edges, clear details, and original shine, you could be holding something special. Collectors call this uncirculated or mint condition, and it can multiply the value many times over. Now think about rarity. Some years had lower production numbers. Some coins were minted in smaller batches due to economic or political changes. Others have minting errors, like double strikes, off-center designs, or incorrect inscriptions. These mistake coins are not flaws in the collector's world. They are treasures. Imagine holding a coin that was never supposed to exist in that form. A coin that slipped through quality control decades ago, traveled through time, and somehow ended up in your possession. That's the kind of story that drives collectors to pay thousands, sometimes millions. And then comes demand. Older collectors, especially men in the 55 to 65 age group, often have a deep emotional connection to coins like these. They remember the era. They understand the history. They appreciate the craftsmanship. For them, it's not just about money, it's about legacy. Owning a rare coin is like owning a piece of time itself. Now let's bring everything together. You have a 1 shilling Elizabeth South African coin. To determine its true value, you need to look at 3 key factors: condition, rarity, and demand. If your coin scores high in all 3, you are no longer holding loose change. You are holding an asset. There have been cases where rare variants of such coins have sold for extraordinary amounts. Private collectors, auction houses, and international buyers are always searching for unique pieces. And when the right coin meets the right buyer, the price can skyrocket beyond imagination. This is where that number comes in. Up to $18 million. Now, let's be realistic for a moment. Not every coin will reach that level. In fact, only the rarest of the rare, with perfect condition, historical significance, and unique features, can even approach such a figure. But the possibility exists. And that possibility is what makes coin collecting so powerful. It turns ordinary people into treasure hunters. It turns forgotten drawers into vaults of hidden wealth. It turns curiosity into opportunity. So what should you do right now? Start by checking your coins. Look closely at the details. Use a magnifying glass if you have to. Examine the year, the design, the edges. Compare it with verified images online. If something looks different, if something feels unusual, Don't ignore it. Get it evaluated. Professional coin grading services can give you an official assessment of your coin's condition and authenticity. This step is crucial if you believe your coin could be valuable. A certified coin carries much more weight in the market than an uncertified one. Also, never rush to sell. This is a mistake many people make. They find a coin, realize it might be valuable, and quickly sell it for the first offer they get. But patience is key. The right buyer might be willing to pay 10 times more than the first one. Auctions are often the best place for rare coins. They bring together serious collectors who understand value and are willing to compete for it. And remember this, the world of coin collecting is not just for experts. It's for anyone who is willing to learn, observe, and stay curious. Age doesn't matter. Experience doesn't matter. What matters is attention to detail and the willingness to look beyond the surface. Because sometimes, the smallest things carry the greatest worth. A simple 1 shilling coin can be a doorway to history, a symbol of legacy, and in rare cases, a life-changing discovery. Don't underestimate what you have. Check your pockets. Check your drawers. Check those old boxes that haven't been opened in years, because you never know. That one coin you almost ignored could be the one everyone else is searching for. And if you found value in this, make sure you stay connected, because there are many more coins out there with stories just like this, and maybe the next one we talk about is already in your possession. And now, let's go even deeper into something most people never think about, the silent journey of a coin. Because that 1 shilling Elizabeth South African coin you might be holding today did not just appear out of nowhere. It traveled. It passed through hands, through markets, through moments of history that you and I can only imagine. Picture this for a second. The year is decades ago. That coin is freshly minted, shining, untouched, perfect. It leaves the mint and enters circulation. Maybe it was used to buy bread. Maybe it paid for a bus ride. Maybe it sat in the pocket of someone who worked hard every day, never realizing that one day this small piece of metal would become something people would search for, analyze, and potentially pay fortunes to own. Every scratch, every mark, every sign of wear tells a story. But here's the twist. Sometimes the coins that avoided all of that, the ones that stayed hidden, protected, untouched, those are the ones that become the most valuable. Think about collectors for a moment. A serious collector does not just look at a coin. He studies it. He examines the edges, the weight, the alignment, the exact positioning of letters. He compares it with known examples. He looks for the smallest difference, because in this world, the smallest difference can mean the biggest reward. There are coins where a single letter is slightly off. Coins where the date is printed differently. Coins where the design was slightly altered due to a change in the die used for minting. These differences are not visible to everyone, but to the trained eye, they are everything. Now imagine this scenario. You are sitting at home, maybe going through old belongings, maybe cleaning out a drawer that hasn't been opened in years. You come across a small collection of coins. At first, nothing seems special, just old currency. But then, one coin catches your attention. It looks cleaner than the others. The details seem sharper. There's something about it that feels different. This is the moment where most people either ignore it or investigate further. And that decision can change everything. Because the truth is, valuable coins are often discovered by ordinary people. Not experts, not dealers, just everyday individuals who took a second look instead of walking away. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful factors in coin value, scarcity combined with story. A coin becomes truly powerful when it is both. Scarcity means there are very few of them left in existence. Maybe most were melted down. Maybe many were lost. Maybe only a small number were ever produced to begin with. Story means there is something unique about its background. Maybe it was minted during a critical time in history. Maybe it represents a transition period. Maybe it has an error that was quickly corrected, making only a handful of coins exist in that form. When scarcity and story come together, that's when prices can reach unbelievable levels. And this is where the idea of $18 million starts to make sense, that it's not just about the metal, that it's not just about the design, that it's about uniqueness. It's about rarity that cannot be replaced. It's about a piece that completes someone's collection in a way nothing else can. There are collectors out there, serious collectors, who have spent decades building their collections. They have money, they have knowledge, and most importantly, they have patience. When a rare coin appears that fits perfectly into what they've been searching for, they don't hesitate. They compete. And when competition rises, so does the price. Now let's shift focus slightly and talk about something practical. How you can start identifying whether your coin could be one of those rare pieces. First, lighting matters. Take your coin under a bright, direct light. Rotate it slowly. Look at how the light reflects off the surface. A genuine, well-preserved coin will have a certain luster, a natural shine that cannot be easily faked. Second, edges. The edges of a coin can tell you a lot. Are they smooth or reeded? Are they worn out or still sharp? Any irregularity here could be a sign of something unusual. Third, weight and size. That if you have access to a small digital scale, weigh your coin. Compare it with the official specifications. Even a slight difference can indicate something important, like a minting variation or error. Fourth, sound. Yes, even the sound matters. Gently tap the coin against another coin. Silver coins, in particular, produce a distinct ringing sound. It's subtle, but once you hear it, you'll recognize it. Fifth, magnification. Use a magnifying glass or even your phone camera zoom. Look closely at the text, the portrait, the fine lines. Sometimes, the difference between a common coin and a rare one is hidden in details that are almost invisible to the naked eye. Now here's something most people don't realize. Sometimes, coins are valuable not because they are perfect, but because they are imperfect in a very specific way. A double-striked, an off-center design, a missing element. These are not damages, they are minting errors. And in the world of collectors, minting errors are like hidden gold. Why? Because they are unintentional. They were not supposed to happen, which means they are rare by nature, and rarity drives value. Now let's talk about patience again, because this is where many people lose out. You find a coin. You suspect it might be valuable. You get excited. You search online and see different prices. Some low, some high. It becomes confusing. This is where discipline matters. Instead of rushing, take your time. Compare multiple sources. Look at actual sold listings, not just asking prices. If possible, consult a professional. And most importantly, understand that true value is determined when a buyer and seller agree. Until that moment, everything else is just an estimate. Now imagine the feeling. You discover that your coin is not ordinary. You get it evaluated. It comes back with a high grade. Experts confirm its rarity. Collectors show interest. And suddenly, that small piece of metal becomes something else entirely. It becomes an opportunity that started with curiosity, an opportunity that grew through knowledge, an opportunity that could potentially change your financial situation in ways you never expected. This is why people in the 55 to 65 age group are often deeply connected to this world. They understand patience. They appreciate history. They recognize value beyond the surface. They know that not everything valuable shines immediately. Some things reveal their worth only to those who take the time to look closely. And that's exactly what this is about. Looking closely, thinking differently, seeing potential where others see nothing. Because in a world where everyone is rushing, the real rewards often go to those who slow down and observe. So as you sit there right now, think about this. How many coins have passed through your hands over the years? How many did you ignore? How many could have been something more? And more importantly, how many do you still have? Because the story is not over yet. That one Shilling Elizabeth South African coin, it might just be waiting for the right person to recognize its true worth. And that person could be you. So take action. Start checking. Start learning. Start paying attention. Because sometimes, the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is simply awareness. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. And who knows? The next coin you pick up might not just be a coin. It might be the beginning of something far bigger than you ever imagined.